Your business engages in digital marketing campaigns to create a steady stream of leads that you work to turn into sales opportunities. The process of identifying prospects and getting their contact information to teams that engage in qualification conversations with prospects must be seamless and execute quickly. Suppose a prospect fills out an online web form with their contact information, requesting additional information after watching one of your webinars. It is critical that the contact information is routed to your business development executives, or BDEs, as soon as possible. Any delay gives the prospect time to fulfill their needs with one of your competitors. In addition, the contact information must be routed quickly to your digital marketing team so that they can add it to an appropriate nurture program. In the first of 2 demos, we will show you how you can automate this process, ensuring that contact information entered through your web form is routed to your BDEs and digital marketing teams quickly and automatically. We will use TIBCO Cloud Integration to connect the diverse systems that participate in this process, including the Marketo Marketing Automation Platform, Salesforce Customer Relationship Management System, and a customer data platform used by the digital marketing team that maintains contact information in Snowflake. It will take us less than 10 minutes to create these integrations. Then, in part 2 of the series, we will show you how to continually monitor this integration to prevent disruption to your lead generation program. To implement our solution, we will construct an event-driven app using TIBCO Cloud Integration's Visual Flow Designer. When a prospect fills out an online form requesting information, an event is generated in Marketo. Our first flow will listen for this event and initiate an update to Salesforce to create a new contact. To create the first flow, select Create, and then under the Develop Application type, select FlowGo. Now we will give our app a meaningful name and then create our flow. We have already created a Swagger definition in the API editor for this service, so we can just find it and generate our flow. This adds a HTTP receive endpoint and creates an empty flow. We can now start by mapping the inputs and outputs of the flow from the HTTP trigger. We will add a log activity to aid monitoring and diagnostics if there is an issue with the app. Now we will write the input JSON to the log after converting it to a string. Next, we are going to add a branch to our flow. The first part of the branch checks for incomplete records with missing fields and will discard any we find, while the second branch takes all the messages that are not discarded. For the first branch, we will move the generated return activity to the branch. We will then set the return code and add a basic message. On the second branch, we will add a Salesforce create activity and then set the connection to an existing Salesforce definition and set the object to lead. We then map each of the fields from the inbound Marketo event to the Salesforce lead object. And lastly, we will add a return that will return the status from the Salesforce create. We will now create a second flow that listens for the Salesforce event generated when a new lead is created, and then initiates an update to Snowflake. To create the new customer contact in Snowflake, we will use a pre-created API service. Typically, a developer would have to have prior knowledge of this existing API to utilize it, and then manually add it to the flow. However, with TIBCO Cloud Integration, you can easily discover existing APIs and embed them in your flows, which accelerates the development of new applications, as APIs can be immediately discovered and reused across the organization. We will now create our second flow. Then we will connect the trigger to a Salesforce connection. Select the Salesforce object lead and add a query statement to pull the fields we need to pass on to Snowflake. We then map the trigger outputs to the flow and add a log activity. Then we will add a branch to check the event type. If the event is a Salesforce record creation event, we will process the message and update Snowflake. We now add an invoke REST service to the branch. Enable TIBCO Cloud Mesh Discovery, and then select the name of the pre-created API service. Select the resource path and method. Set the input fields from the Salesforce trigger. And finally add a log activity to capture the results from the service call. We can now deploy and start the app. We are deploying our application to the TIBCO Cloud. However, with TIBCO Cloud Integration, your application is portable across on-premise systems, cloud platforms, serverless, and even edge devices. Now, when a valid lead has been entered in Marketo, a record will be added to Salesforce. As you can see, Mr. Don Daniels has been added to Salesforce. And now, switching to Snowflake, we can execute a query to see the added record there as well. We have successfully set up an integration flow that automatically updates Salesforce and Snowflake with our prospect information in real time, allowing business development executives and digital marketing teams to progress the lead immediately. This integration is critical to generating a continuous flow of sales opportunity for your enterprise. In the second part of this demo, we will show you how you can easily ensure that your new application is executing continuously and efficiently.